Yeah.
Go ahead, Coach.
All right, man. Yeah, let's get rocking. After the game, we spoke last night, not just about learning the lessons, but applying them. And every win and every loss has been equally important here. Definitely not equally enjoyable, but equally important. Maybe over the last week or two, some of you may have asked, what's missing? And what I spoke to the team about today was that identity, that energy and toughness that we've kind of established about how we want to play. And I think I had told them early on, I think you have nothing to lose and you're ripping it and going and being aggressive, and all of a sudden you're doing a little better, and now you want it even more and you can get even tighter. And so I just wanted to make sure, man, let's get back to that. And that falls on every single one of us, as players and coaches, and knowing the execution of all that is all of us together. And that's what I do love about this team. There's not a group that points one way or another. It's just a big collective group. I told them 3 months in and nothing's been decided, and that absolutely fires me up. And you can talk of standards in good times, but now is the time where culture and what you're about is really defined. So you got to live it, and that's what's cool about today as we went through the truth with the guys. So I share that with you about what we did with the team today, and the identity piece, the running, the hitting, the physicality. Just every time we play, I want you guys to see that and feel that, and our fans to see that and feel that. And sometimes you can get tight to want to overtry, and we're not going to do that. So let's get it rocking.
All right, Con.
Hey, Dan, can you give us an update on Austin, Brian Robinson, and then Andrew Wiley, please? Thank you.
Yes. Austin had a chance to visit with today, and fortunately last night did all the scans, and that side came back good. It certainly was sore, but he will be in the concussion protocol. But man, it was good to see him. Those are scary moments, John, when those concussions like that take place. Brian was the next one I think you asked, and came and treat him today. Ankle, injury to go. We'll have a better see how much work that he does during the week. So I'll have a better sense for you as we get further along. And then Andrew Wiley is in the concussion protocol as well.
And then along those lines, so the running game has not been working the last weeks, as I'm sure you know. And now you have possibly 3 key people who would not be part of this. How do you get this right going forward, and how important is it to get it right moving forward?
Yeah, let's start with the last part first, how important it to get it right. It's critical, for us, because it takes all 11 to run it. It's the quarterback on the fake. It's the tight ends, wide receivers, perimeter. I think so much is put, just the offensive line, but a really rock-solid, top-to-bottom run game that's about everybody. And so fortunately for us, we do have a big, deep crew at that position. And as we work through the weeks, we do practice, the other guys, including the practice squad, through that at the running back spot. It is a position, John, that you better have depth at, due to injuries and such. So that's where we stand along that. And it's very important to us. It's, part of our toughness and finishing. And so we're going to work really hard to get that part right.
Nikki.
Yeah, I have more of a general question, not necessarily pertaining to Cliff or the offense right now, but as you go along in seasons, what is generally your process, whether working with the offensive coordinator to try to continually to evolve the offense as defenses pick up more on tendencies and kind of understand more about what you're trying to do?
You want to make sure first that, like, the skill work, Nikki, that's a lot. And I say that, and it's like, yeah, you said that before, Dan. So many teams have, similar things that they do. So it's not as much what you do, but how you do them. And so whether that was, John's reference in the run game or us in the passing game or the timing of the deep balls, that's why, although it didn't show during the week, Nikki, of this game, we were pleased to get back to some full speed practicing, to get our reps together. And so my role in that is making sure that the execution is really hitting the strides, because you may have some plays that you're going to work up for a certain team or a certain concept that you've been waiting on. It may not be ready yet, and you keep working it to go, but at the end of it, it's really about the execution. And those are the things that the full speed practice reps really help. You don't reinvent what you do. It's doing what you have better.
Ben?
Hey, Dan, to be a little more specific on that topic, whether you agree with this conversation that exists about Cliff Kingsbury's offenses over the years, it does exist, and you probably were aware of it prior to making the hire. What was your thought about that at the time, and what's your thought of it now when people bring it up because the offense has been in a little bit of decline of late?
Sure. I probably don't give it as much, Ben, and here's why. You're talking about a different program with different people and different players. And so I think going into you're putting in a system together, you want to make sure that you're featuring the players and the things that they do best and all of that. And so I think Cliff's done a good job of that. Although there are like peaks and valleys in any season that's going to go, I don't have a sense of what somebody did well before, because the system that was in place there is not the same exact carbon copy as the one here.
Where were you seeing that tightness that you mentioned in the pie chart of things of why the offense isn't performing up to your expectations? Like, how big of a slice is that?
It's not just offense, Sam. So I felt that's why I wanted to say it, because there's an energy that makes the whole team who we are. It's the big plays on the sideline, the big special teams hit that makes everybody kind of go crazy, and the energy goes into the next. It's a turnover that turns into points, and the complementary football that goes back and forth. So that type of energy is really from about them doing it together. And it actually comes from a really good place of them wanting to even elevate further. But the next ceiling that you go to, you can't get tighter as you go. It's almost like you have to express, this is how we always are going to play. This is our identity. And you literally lay it out there about it. Even when the stakes get higher, this is how we do business. And there's a little bit of human nature to that, because you want to be right, and it's really important. But you also have to have the balance, Sam, of we are aggressive, we're fast, we're bold, and let's make sure that comes across every time we play. So it comes from the right spot in their heart to hey, this is really important, I want to get it right. But you can slow yourself down by overthinking and over trying on some stuff. And so I want to make sure that part comes alive. And if we make a mistake, it's not about that mistake. It's about how fast can we get back to full speed on the next play and the next rep.
Scott?
Hi, Dan. With this 3-game losing streak, there are a lot of people in this town that are worried, maybe hitting that panic button a little bit. Curious what your level of concern is with this team and the way things are trending right now.
Yeah, what I told the team today, Scott, as we're 3 months in, nothing's been decided, and that really fires me up, because I want to see this identity just, reveal itself about how we play. And those things will play out as we're going. And that's what I want to see from the guys, that the speed, the effort, the finishing. And if we do those things right, Scott, the score will certainly take care of itself. But that's what I want to see. And so can we be so disciplined that we don't look far down the road? And that was part of the message today. Can we just look at this one and go from there?
Andy?
Hey, Coach, if you could choose 3 areas of improvement for your team right now, what would they be?
I would want to say the first one, I'd love to see the speed and overall physicality improve. That's part of the identity candidate. I think that's really important for us to demonstrate on an every game basis. And having a later bye, there's a factor in that that's difficult. That's a real thing. And I want to make sure we punch ourselves right through that ceiling, getting into it, to say you keep going, you keep battling. It's just how we get down and do business. So that part of, staying right in it, I want to see. I would love to see on, for us, the ball, and say, we lost the turnover margin yesterday. If that part, the ball hawking opportunities, I think we got one knocked out, recovered it, but thought we had some chances for some others that we missed those opportunities. And then, of course, finishing in the minus is never a good way to get rolling. So that would be the second one. And then on the third one, I would say the line of scrimmage, on both sides. That's always the big guys on both sides, pass blocking, pass rush, run defense. Those guys, that's always where it starts. And so those would be the 3 things for us to level up on heading into this game against Tennessee. The energy, the physicality, the ball, and then the last part is our line of scrimmage. That's those 3 things will always be in the front of my mind.
Donna?
Hey, Coach. In looking at the game, what were some of the major breakdowns? I heard the players say after the game that everything is fixable.
Yes, I thought it was a wild special teams game, and I thought It told the players, you'll like the first 56 minutes or so. There was a blocked field goal and a blocked punt and energy to go. And so to see, one go back the other way on our cover team, which we really think is one of the stronger groups that we do, that was, certainly one that left a mark for us to say this one's going to sting, in terms of the return that got out. So that part I thought was one for sure. The second piece is I thought we really have this mindset, we'll fight to the end, and here we are down 2 and you go back to it. And I want to speed that up. I want to make sure that part is the attacking from, the whole time, because what I do love about our team is they're never out of it. They're never out of the fight. They're willing to go the distance on anybody. But I want to make sure that although we're strong in those moments, let's make sure we attack early on as well.
Coach, how has Brandon kind of graded out since he's become the starter? What's his trajectory been?
You know what, Dave? I thought, honestly, it won't show up in the stat sheet because it was his best game due to a penalty. He had one that would show up on a stat sheet. But in terms of protections and going forward in that way, I felt the trajectory is going up. And so that was a big step in the right direction for him, Dave, to see his best game. And so not everybody has all of them at the same time, but for him, that was the best one so far. So that was a good trajectory for us.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you Wednesday.
See you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.